Recently, a friend asked me to install an optic on his pistol and then give him a quick lesson on running an optic-based pistol, as well as how to draw from appendix. And he graciously allowed me to tape that lesson. So here are some excerpts from it, I think probably the more relevant parts that you may be interested in. Thanks to my friend for allowing me to videotape it, and here's the lesson.
In Florence.
I'm going to go to Florence this summer.
Yeah.
Do you like Florence?
Yeah. The weather was nice, man. See, I haven't fooled with this at all because I didn't want to
no worries.
jack up anything, man. See when you turn it on.
It orients.
$300 something like that.
See, look at you, man. You
Yeah.
high tech. Me, I'm low tech. Keep everything stable.
Mm-hmm. Now, why is it that Glock makes these, but they don't? I don't understand why they don't make the mounts. Is this just a Glock thing, or they just stupid like that? Or?
Well, no, Glock does make.
I mean, they
plates,
do make one, but
they're awful.
Yeah.
Glock don't care. It's like their sights. Like these sights are awful, dude. They're the worst sights ever. Glock don't care. You can get Glock guns with aftermarket good sights on, like Ameriglows. It's a different SKU. But like I said, for the most part, Glock just kind of doesn't care. And that's fine, but, you know, it's, you're going to want some decent backup sights, dude. You just are. I put a very small drop of Loctite red on these, which means that when I take them apart, I actually put a little bit of heat into the screw with a soldering iron before I loosen it when I take it off. I can put blue on, but one of the bigger issues I see with optics is if they are not mounted well, they will come loose.
Yeah,
and if they come loose, yes, they smack you in the face. So I'm going to put witness marks on these screws after we've installed it, so that you'll see a little line. Every time you look at that gun, just make sure them lines all are correct. Yeah, because obviously if they are not where they're supposed to be, then we got to tighten it down.
Yeah, it's moving.
Yeah, we got to do something. But anytime you Loctite something, you should let it sit for about 24 hours before you go shooting. And I'll put a ton on, right? Just a little teeny bit.
A little bit.
And in general, you definitely want to make sure that you torque these things down properly. You do not want to just do the German spec.
Mounting types, critical tools and prep, standard adapter plate installation, red dot adapter filler plate installation. I guess we're looking for standard adapter plate installation.
Standard MOS footprint on a G34, and this plate is used to mount all of those optical platforms. What's unique about this is that our plate is 100 thousandths.
Just like that.
Yep.
So small. If
it moves,
we'll let that drop for just a bit.
If it backs up, if it backs off.
Just like that. Yeah. The inside of the barrel stays dry, but the outside, that's where moving parts are, right? So it's like your car. Anytime metal, move on oil, right? So outside of the barrel, visible amount of oil. You don't want it dripping, like that's too much if it's dripping, but don't be afraid to put some oil on this thing, man. Military vets, every military vet I know, for whatever reason, they're scared to death to put oil on guns. Because all that freaking, that white glove turn that crap into the armory stuff. No, that's bad. It's dumb. Dumb. You want some oil in this gun. Every time I got a recruit that doesn't put oil in their gun, they stop working. They just malfunction. Real bad, usually. That little piece right there. See that little teeny piece right there? Yeah. Stick up right beside the rail. Take one little drop of oil on the inside of it. And then Glock says to put it on the inside of the rail. So sometimes I do that. But just like that.
Okay.
And you don't got to put a ton in.
Right.
And then when we put it together, it'll just get on the rails. Come on. There we go. Yes. Okay. Okay. Not bad. So you are set up.
What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you like find the reticle, find the reticle, you know, and I'm going to adjust your stance and your grip and everything. And then I'm going to have you come back here. Then I'm going to have you come back and find the reticle. I'm just going to have you do that a bunch of times. When you're doing this, your grip is really important.
Okay.
Because if we come out here really loose and then we decide to increase our grip, usually what happens is the reticle goes down because we've waited till the last minute and gone, ugh, that.
Let's see it.
And the gun dips.
Yeah, see it.
So what you really need to do when you're presenting the gun forward is have your grip probably a good 5 inches before the gun lands, okay?
Okay.
And notice that I'm not slamming it to a halt. I'm just letting it land gently. Pretend like you're pushing a doorbell with the front of this thing. You old enough to remember doorbells.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kids these days just Snapchat. They don't visit in person, right? So,
Right.
but I want this gun to just come to a nice, gentle stop, okay? Now, I've got this reticle turned up bright.
Okay.
Understand that I like it bright. You may want to bring it in some. You may want to reduce it some, but don't go so far down that you have a harder time because bright is fast, okay? And that is not a sniper rifle,
Right.
right? If we're trying to shoot sub-minute groups at 300 yards, that is not the tool. That is a tool for, you know, I mean, to be clear, that setup easily shoot 100 yards, but it's not my preferred. Like if I had to shoot 100 yards, I wouldn't pick a Glock 43. It would not be my first choice.
Right.
That is an up close and immediate threat kind of tool.
Right.
And so for that perspective, I need speed,
Right.
right? So go ahead, aim in at that target right there. Okay. Now, do me a favor. Come back in. Just relax. Come back in. Just look at the target. Relax your neck. Step forward about 1 step. Relax your neck. Now, don't move your head. Bring the gun up and put it right in front of your dominant eye. You left eye dominant?
So I'm right eye dominant.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. How tight is this hand right here?
It's not tight at all.
Okay. So here's the problem. This hand does more work than this hand.
Okay.
Okay. So come back in here. Put that finger up there. Let's keep that high. Come back in. Relax. When you get here, I want this hand to meet there and then wrap. And I want these parts together.
Okay.
Now I want you to press the gun forward. Like I said, just look at that spot on the target. Get the reticle on. Do you got it? Okay. Drop your left foot forward about 5 inches. Oh, I'm sorry, back. Left foot back. Yes. Bend your right knee just a little bit. There. Okay. Because look, this gun doesn't recoil a ton, but it's a small gun, so it's going to be what I call lively. Okay. So it's going to do this kind of shit when you're shooting, right?
Okay.
So I've got to just account for that in terms of how I stand and what I do with my elbows and everything. And if you want, you can even turn this elbow just a little bit. This one, you don't have to come 100% out. I want to use these elbows as shock absorbers. Squeeze here, squeeze tight. This right hand for you, this is where all of your recoil absorption is going to be. Because your left hand's got to do work, right? Your left hand's got to run the trigger. But you can squeeze hard as shit here. Take that out of the ejection point there. Yeah. Okay, so come back in. Press forward again. Now, see how you're letting your arms go? I literally want your elbows to bend, hit your rib cage.
Okay.
And then press forward. You found it?
Yeah.
Find that index. Ideally, the dot should drop in from the top as you present forward. Make sense?
Yeah.
Come back in, do it again. If you want, you can actually add a little bit of speed. But like I said, no matter how fast you go, I don't want it to slam to a halt. So you can go fast until you get there and then gently land. Okay? When you're coming up, try and bring it under your dominant eye. And so your right eye dominant.
Yeah.
So instead of coming from midline, come from that side. Just like this much, though.
How do you determine dominance?
Okay, well, here, let's take this away.
Yeah.
So you got different ways to do it. See that little blue tape on the corner? That's a small piece of tape, right? Make your hands look like this. Like make a small hole between your thumbs. Put it on that tape. So look through that hole. Yeah, pick one of them. I don't care which, but look through that hole. You gotta have enough hole to see it.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Now just bring it towards your face. Touch your face with that hand while you're keeping it there the whole time. Bring it all the way to your face. Did it go to your right eye?
Yeah.
So
because it's not coming to my left eye. It's not.
Okay. So do it again. Just put your hands down. Put your hands down. Now, with that same hole, make a little teeny hole. Just bring it straight up. Put it on there. and then bring it to your face. Yeah. So, looking like right. Looking like right. Now, but here's another test. Here's another test. You're left-handed, right? Mm-hmm. So just take your finger like this. Just take your finger. Put it on that tape. Just put it on that tape. Close your left eye. Your left eye. Left eye. There. Is it still there,
Yeah,
or did it move?
It's still there.
Okay, now switch eyes. Close.
Oh,
Did it move?
Yeah, it's over to the right.
Okay, so you are right eye dominant. Merry Christmas.
I don't know how. That's weird, man.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody is hardwired from the factory to have dominant hand, dominant eye, dominant foot. Like the foot you kick with,
Right.
you have a dominant set of features. Which isn't to say that you can't use the other one. You can use the other one. Some people who are cross-dominant force themselves to shoot with the other hand. For long guns, you're going to have to, probably. Rifle, shotgun. Now, you don't have to, because look, if I'm left eye dominant right now, but I do that, now what's my dominant eye?
You're right.
Because it's the only one. But I've legit trained some people where I go, hey, close one eye, and they do this. And I'm going, no, just close one. Just close one. And they go, okay. I go, okay, cool. You're gonna shoot rifle with that other hand, because they just can't do it. So you got options. Most cross-dominant people with pistols, it's not a problem. Especially with optic. Especially with optic, whatever. If you see it, it's good. Who cares? You know, there's less time spent messing with that. And with an optic, you're going to shoot both eyes open anyways. You should. For the most part. I'll say that. I don't want to say always and never, but for the most part, when you're running an optic, you should just be running both eyes open. You just, instead of, some people will come up with the same side. When you're presenting that gun, I want you to present it kind of slightly over here and just put it on that side.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now look, your eyes are only that far apart.
Yeah.
Okay, so the difference, I'm just going to point this at you, but I want you to see what I'm talking about. So here's left eye, right? Here's left eye dominant, left eye, but here's right eye. I have to close it to get there. But do you see what I'm saying? I mean, the distance between them, there. Okay, so when I say, hey, this is me bringing it up under my right eye, but this is me bringing it up under my left. See how it's slightly favored it? So when I present it, I'm going to do that. So I'm coming up over here, but don't do this. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't swim it in, right? So when you're working on the target, come back to that spot here. Come back to our middle spot. Now, here's how I want you to establish this grip every time. You're here. When you get here, I want you to touch that part of your knuckles. Probably it's going to be right about there for you.
Okay.
And then I want you to roll this hand in. So see how I end up like that?
Yeah.
I want the backs of my hands together. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be like that. I want to be under here, here. This is probably going to work for you the best. And I touch, roll, and I get most of my grip before I come up. So I'm grip on before I ever get up to here. And I don't know if you can tell how much I'm applying over here.
You're pushing down right now.
Yes, I am smushing this hand in. I'm squeezing here, smushing in. I'm going to grip the shit out of this gun with this hand. Especially, like I said, smaller gun, it moves more. There's more movement, right? So I've got to get that grip to keep this gun flat. Otherwise, it's going to be moving all over the place. So I want to really grip this gun, come up and go to work. And like I said, I see people with really loose grips, and a lot of times, every time the gun goes bang, then they have to fight it back down, right? Like, so it goes bang, oh, I gotta fight it, oh, bang, oh, I gotta fight it, bang, oh, I gotta fight it back down. What I really want when I'm shooting is that the gun tracks pretty flat, comes right back, right? Like, it's gonna come right back if I've gripped properly, if I'm standing properly. And you're a lefty like me, this is how I stand when I'm shooting, okay? If you stance and grip properly,
It's kind of like when we box.
Yes, it's a fighting stance. Because gunfight is fighting. Yeah. So I'm gonna really strengthen my grip in the way I position myself, and that's gonna do most of the work for me.
Okay.
A lot of people say the most important fundamental is sights, right? Some people say the most important fundamental is trigger. Have you heard that?
Yeah,
No?
I've heard different things, but I mean, if you ain't holding it right,
Yes.
it doesn't matter.
So respectfully to all those cats, I say grip is probably number one, and stance may be number two. Like how I'm standing. Now, admittedly, like you can get away with some crazy shit. Like if you're running, moving, like standing on one foot, you can still shoot accurately. But if I'm trying to repeatedly land hits, right? And the problem is with a pistol, I don't know how many times I got to shoot. Repeatedly land hits, then how I position myself and how I grip this gun makes a real difference in my ability to do that properly. Good to go? So, go ahead, grab. Now, see what I was talking about? How get this hand to come underneath.
Right there.
Yep. And roll them together. This thumb doesn't do shit on a two-handed grip. Okay, relax this thumb, just relax it. Now, bring it up, press it forward, find the sights. Good grip with your right hand, good. When I say sights, find the reticle.
Yeah,
find the
reticle, I got you.
Okay, come back in, do it again. Separate your hands. I want you to touch, roll, press forward each time. And press forward.
Right there, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I'm doing it slow on purpose.
That's fine. There's learning speed, there's performance speed.
Yeah.
I want you to learn. And we have to learn at a speed where you can repeat it.
Right there.
Because here's the thing. Every time you move your head, you are trying to now make multiple things come together that are all moving. It's like, back to your basketball analogy, you're at the free throw line and you're throwing. How good are you at the free throw?
I used to be okay.
Okay.
But
Now, imagine the basket is moving side to side. Is that going to make you better or worse?
It's make you worse.
Okay. Or up or down or anything. This is the basket. This is the basketball.
Okay.
Okay. So I got to line them up. So don't move this.
Don't move this. Okay.
Right? Don't move this. Let's just put the gun in front of it to shoot our hoop. Okay.
Gotcha.
So don't move your face. Just put it in front of your eye. Especially if it's repeatable, right? I want repeatability.
Yeah.
Because if you grip this gun different every time, then you're going to get different accuracy every time. You're going to get different recoil control every time. Do you know what I mean? It's this whole slippery slope. So I really want to be as consistent and repeatable as I can every time I get on the gun. And it's harder with a smaller gun, by the way. Harder with a smaller gun.
I know when I choose to use my 19.
Yeah. See how I got a little gap there? I want these two to be hugging. These two got a relationship. They got to stay together. Yeah. Because it's physics, right? Just like water, point of least resistance. Electricity, most conductive. Recoil force, anywhere there's a hole, recoil force is going to try and go there. Okay, it's just how it works. So, okay, now don't scoop. Come up and forward. That's what I want you to do, up and forward. Get it in front of your eye sooner. Get it in front of your eye sooner and press forward, okay? Get it up in front of your eye sooner. Look, you can do a lot of janky stuff and get away with it, but I don't want you to get away with it, okay? So bring it up and forward. Up and forward is better. Up and forward is better. And keep your eyes open because, look, your eyes helping you steer. Your eyes are helping you steer. Now, you're still kind of going up, forward. Let me show you. I want to get up here and then press forward.
I'm doing like this.
You know, you're doing this. Okay, you're literally kind of doing this big scoop. And the problem with the big scoop of any sort is that my eyes trying to use it as a reference, I'm taking them out of the equation.
Okay.
Look, you can get away with a straight diagonal coming up. You can. But if you're going to do that, you're going to need to practice it a lot. You need to practice it a lot because my ability to steer this whole equation with my eyes doesn't happen until right about there. Whereas if I come here, the whole time my eyes can be helping me steer this ship. Okay? Like let's use our innate abilities. Like you're born with eyes, let's use them if we can. Okay? I mean, unless you plan on doing a whole ton of Dryfire every night. Up, forward, and then that gives us that ability to start seeing what I need to see before I get there. If I'm doing something like this, I hope my index is good because I'm not seeing the optic, I'm not seeing the optic, I'm not seeing the optic, I'm not seeing the optic until there. Whereas here, see it the whole way. Okay?
Okay.
So, right? So let's use this to help steer the ship. Every time we come up, make sure your finger's there until we're ready to shoot. So let's do that. We'll talk about trigger in a bit, but let's get you. Yeah. Yeah, I like to have it high.
Like right there.
Because here's the thing. If you get bumped, startled, trip, anything like that, both your hands are going to clench with about 25 pounds of force.
Okay.
And if that finger's floating, down here and you squeeze both hands with 25 pounds of force, a lot of times that'll pop right past the trigger guard, boop, and now we got a loud noise and we got a hole someplace, right? Whereas up here, squeeze your hand really tight. Everything, all 3 fingers, all 4 fingers, squeeze. Hurt anything?
No.
No. Put your finger here, squeeze really hard. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That can be a problem. So I like this. What's called high register up on the slide, something like that, okay?
Okay.
Feel the slide with your finger. When it's not shooting time, that's where I want your finger.
Gotcha.
Okay. Let me tell you about what not shooting time is. Not shooting time. Moving. I'm just moving. Right. I'm not shooting, I'm just moving. Reloading. If you need to reload the gun, that ain't shooting time, it's reloading time. Gun malfunctions, I need to clear it. That's not shooting. Okay. Doing any of those things with finger anywhere near the trigger, a lot of times rounds go places you didn't want to go when you didn't want to go. And I've seen this with trainees occasionally, right? So, like I said, whenever it's not shooting time, the finger goes there. Now let's talk about what shooting time is. While we're at it, since I defined what it wasn't, let's define what it is.
Okay.
When the gun is on target and you have decided to fire. Not 50-50, not I think I might fire, not do I need to fire, like I'm going to fire. Then the gun on target, on trigger, good to go. But as soon as that time goes away, then we're back here again, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good to go.
A lot to think about.
Oh, yeah. So come back here, let's get a few more presentations. But like I said, maybe I need you to even exaggerate coming up and then forward.
Yeah.
So come
Like that square meal deal.
Yeah, come up, forward, up, and forward. Maybe even more up and forward. Come up and forward. Because I want you to be seeing that reticle sooner if you can. A little bit sooner helps you. And we'll clean that up in a little bit, right? But for now, maybe I want this exaggerated, like straight up then forward. Yeah. Because at some point, I'm going to round off that corner with you. But the problem is if I round it off too soon, you're going to go back to this inverted U.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit.
And I don't want you to do a big U up on target.
Not
Yeah.
shrug my shoulders.
Yeah, just lift it up.
Yeah.
You don't need to use these. You don't need to use these. And then forward. Just press it forward, 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 forward. Yes. Yes. Yeah, and make sure your grip is tight before you land, okay?
Yeah. That's when I bring it up. So I'm here, right?
Okay.
When I
I
bring
never
it
want it there. I at least want it here.
Yeah. Okay.
I at least want it here. Because look, if I'm here, I literally have my forearms against my rib cage right now. How long can you stand like this? Probably a long time, right? It's pretty comfortable. 2, if you had to shoot from right here, like somebody really, really close right in front of you, could you shoot from here? Hell yeah, you could. Okay. So these are all good. When I start getting belly button, now what, my gun's not even in my visual plane. Okay. So we went from a kind of a compressed high ready, which is good, to almost what I call no ready. Now it's comfortable. Like once again, I could stand here a long time,
Right.
but it's not really in the fight. It's not in the game. Here, still comfortable, But if I need to, boom, I could shoot right here.
Right.
Like if somebody's like right here, boom, I can shoot right here. Okay. I'm not going to be doing no 25-yard bullseye shooting from here, but if somebody's like within an arm's reach, this will work. But 2, I can very quickly present this gun forward, see the sight, and press the trigger. Like boom, I can get that. Okay, so this is a good spot. So really, and I'm working on the draw with you, but I'm kind of going backwards. We're going to end up here on the 3rd step of our draw.
Okay.
And then you're going to press forward, and that's going to be the 4th step. Okay. So, but I want you to get this last part because when it comes to running an optic, kind of really dialing this part in is the part that's going to get you there. Okay. So give me a few more reps of that press forward. Up and forward. Nah, not a you. Come back in.
I know.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm
There, I did it again. I felt it when I did. I went just like this.
Yep.
I went just like that. I felt it.
Come back in.
Okay.
Okay. Don't touch the cardboard. Present your gun out. Come back. Don't touch the cardboard. Present your gun out. Find the optic. Come back. Don't touch the cardboard. Present the gun forward. Did you find it? Keep doing that. Don't touch the cardboard. Don't touch the cardboard. Okay. So if I'm going to draw, just watch. If I'm going to draw, the first thing I want to do is I want one hand on me, one hand on the gun. And I'm going to trying to establish my grip before I come out of the holster.
Okay.
Okay. Part of the way. Do you see where my thumb is?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not digging it down between my chubs and the gun. I'm actually putting it here. With this kind of holster, you're probably going to end up coming like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I've got to put one hand on me. This hand here. This is important, okay? I don't care if it's high, low, middle, don't care.
Is your ready hand?
Okay, well, there's 2 reasons, 3 reasons, 4 reasons. There's a lot of reasons why I do this. One, I see a lot of people do this. Watch, tell me if this is good.
No.
What's bad about it?
Well, you're not establishing the grip.
Okay, what else is bad about it?
Time.
Watch again, watch again.
You can shoot your hand.
Yeah, that's a problem, right?
Yeah, you can shoot
You want to shoot? You want to shoot yourself in the hand?
no, you can shoot your hand.
Okay.
I saw that. I was like, wait a
So
minute.
let's
Yeah.
never do that. One, can I point the gun at this hand easily on my draw? I can
Well,
right
that
now.
way, no.
So that's the whole point, right? So one, I'm going to get this hand out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
2, it is better for getting that position right. So
Yeah.
I've got the same index. Everything is easier if I have the same index. What I mean by index is touch points, same point in time, same point in space.
Mm-hmm.
And you have this innate ability to know where you are in space, right? Like touch your earlobes right now. Touch your earlobes. Both hands. Both hands. Did you have to look? Touch your belly button. Either hand. Don't care. Touch your belly button. Did you miss? No. Touch your knees. Touch your knees. So you know where all your shit is, right? Boom. This hand on me. I know where me is. This is a good index point. Now, like I said, some people want high, some people low, middle, whatever. I don't care. But what I do care about is that it's the same spot every time. And I'm doing it at the same time, right? Because look, if I go or whatever, that's awkward and usually causes us to shift around. See how I got there? Both hands, right? Now, 2, I need to come straight up. Okay, so I'm literally going from that holster, my second step from 1, 2, straight up. 3, remember that touch point I showed you? Where the finger comes underneath the trigger guard. And then 4, I'm going to present it forward directly in front of my dominant eye, and that's a full draw. Okay, now to come back, to put it safely back in the holster, I'm going to reverse these steps. I'm going to come back in here. Now, in the cop world, I usually tell everybody to scan. There's 2 reasons why I'm telling people to do that. 1, if you are shooting, like for realsies, the amount of stress that you are experiencing will probably be high. With a lot of adrenaline, we tend to encounter things like tunnel vision, right? Where everything looks like you're looking through a soda straw. And 2, auditory exclusion. A lot of times people be screaming, yelling, trying to get your attention, whatever, you don't hear it. And it's a real thing, it's a factor. I experienced that myself, okay? So I tell them to scan to try and break out of that. Literally look around, what the hell's going on around you? Find out what's happening. 2, if indeed there is anything going on around you that needs attention one way or the other, at least you'll know, okay? Scan, and it'll also calm you down. Because look, if you go boom, 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 now watch, look at my hand, look at my hand, look at my hand. And I'm gonna stuff this back in the holster right now. Is that gonna be good? Is this gonna be good? Is this gonna be good? Why is this gonna be bad? Do we see what I'm doing right now? Yes.
You shoot yourself because you got your hand on the trigger.
Yes. So I need to come back in here. I need to calm my ass down.
Right.
Get this finger off of there, see what's going on around me before I try to put this back in the holster. Don't be in a hurry to stuff your gun in a holster, okay? Because I've seen people do that stunt, okay? Like legit witnessed it with my own eyes, got to deal with the medical aftermath of that. I don't want you to experience that. And especially when we're dealing with a concealment holster, it's not a big target. Like cop holster's a big bucket, right? By comparison, this is a little narrow spot. I'm gonna come in, get my hand back on my body or clear any clothes out of the way. And then me and my eyes gonna look and make sure this is going in safe. Now, look at what I'm doing with my hips.
Pushing them hips.
Yes. Do you see where the muzzle's not pointed at anything I don't want to shoot?
That way.
So here's the thing. This is my final safety. Is I'm pointing the muzzle like this, pointing my hips forward, put it back in the holster safely. Good to go. With a holster like this, I really want you to use your eyes to make sure that it's going in there. And if you don't have the attention space because of other stuff going on, then maybe it's not time to put the gun away, right? If it's time to put the gun away, let's do it carefully, reluctantly, and make sure there's nothing in the way, like no clothes. Because look, if anything gets jammed up in this trigger guard, like clothes, drawstrings, whatever, that'll pull the trigger for you too. Okay, and that's a problem as well.
So I definitely want to look, make sure we're good,
Looking into the hole.
and safely, slowly put it in. If you feel any resistance, like, hey, it's not going in right, avoid the urge to go, oh, because what if something's hung on it, right?
Yeah.
Like if something hanging up, get it out of the way. Use your eyes. Shit, is there anything in there? Okay, and then, okay, don't be in a hurry to put that gun away. When you do, let's do it properly and carefully. Okay. Critical always. Extra critical when you're carrying inside the waistband, and probably even more critical here because if you don't do it right, you send a round into the meat department.
Yeah.
Okay, you miss that when it's gone, right? So okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk now about drawing from concealment. If I got something over it, I've got to clear that garment, but I need to do all of these steps, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. So I'm shirt out of the way and then go to the gun.
Okay.
Right? You can do it from the middle. You can grab middle like that. That's fine. You can grab the hem. That's fine. The further back it gets, the more entertaining a closed front garment gets. I actually have pretty good success just grabbing in the middle, a big handful, and coming here. Now, look at my hand. It's already on my body, right? So come up, hands forward, and I come forward.
Okay.
Now to put it away, I'm going to come back in. This hand, I'm going to get my shirt out of the way. Same thing. Hips, muzzle, and then back to where I was. So, like I said, I don't care if you do middle. I don't care if you do hem. If you do hem, you're probably going to want to get some fingers underneath it and drag it up. And like, if you don't drag it up far enough, you end up getting like this. Okay? So I probably want to try and bring it up to where it's really kind of in between my pecs. That's going to give me that clearance, okay? And same thing, if I grab middle, I'm really going to kind of put it like almost on my
Because I
chin.
grab it middle. Yeah, you got to really grab it.
Yeah, okay? So this is something you're going to have to play with based on your clothes, your body, your arm length. But at the end of the day, I got to get my garment far enough away from the gun to where this is completely uncovered. Because otherwise, like I said, I end up with this kind of crazy junk where I end up with some shirt and some gun. Not that you can't shoot like this. Hell, I mean, if it's death or this, I'll rip that shirt clean off and go. But it ain't going to be your fastest, and your grip is going to be all kind of a little wonky, right?
Right.
So I want to try and avoid that if I can. And like I said, that really involves kind of getting this at a minimum kind of up to my pecs, maybe even almost up to my chin, depending on how I grab this shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but when I come to this gun, I'm not creeping up on it. I am slapping my hand on it, like boom. Because here's the thing, what works really slow doesn't work once you start adding speed to it. The grip and that you can do that fast. But if I try and go like this and sneak up under it, a lot of times I'll miss. I take my hand, I smack this gun. I smack it.
Gotcha.
And then that establishes my grip.
Yeah, okay. That makes
So-
sense.
So I think there's this one pro shooter, Gabe White. You can hear that slap. He slaps that thing so hard when he's going to get it. He's crazy fast. You watch that guy and you see what's going on. You can steal stuff from him. So
What's his
that
name?
Gabe White. So
Gabe
that
White.
slap, boom! I've stolen the Gabe White slap. That's his. So now let's talk about the rest of the draw. It's the same, right? So
Yeah.
go back to where you were. So step 1, clear and get it. 2, straight up. 3, thumb and grip. Thumb and grip, press forward, see the sights. Okay. So now we're going to come back. Get your garment out of the way with your support hand. Get it out of the way. Hips forward, muzzle down. Get it into the holster. Look it in. Yep. Back where you were. That's the only difference for concealment draw.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Rome wasn't built in a day.
True.
I'm going to need to do some dry fire reps.
Yeah. So
Okay. Now let's talk about dry fire. I don't want you dry firing for 2 hours straight. I want you dry fire for 5 minutes. The end. 5 minutes. The problem is if I go normal, I need you to go do an hour dry fire. For 1, you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. You'll be like, I'm gonna screw that guy and say his dumbass. I ain't doing that. But 2, even if you do, it's really easy to start getting sloppy. Because now you're just, oh, well, I got to keep doing more reps. And now you're doing some goofy, sloppy stuff. I'd rather you do 5 minutes. Nice and intense. As perfect as you can do it. I'm good to go. Just do something else. and then maybe another day or two, do it again. Just 5 minutes. Okay. Now I know you're a busy man. Probably not a lot of spare time for watching kitty cat videos on TikTok and stuff, but everybody got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. If I say, hey, I need you to dry fire for an hour, 4 times a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not realistic.
Yeah.
And hell, even if it was, so you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. The temptation, the urge, the possibility of sloppiness creeping in. Not that anybody tries to be sloppy, but it's there.
Yeah.
And look, I ain't saying this from some position of I've never done it. I've done it. Like I've done a really long dry fire session, gone to the range, and I started sucking. And I realized it was because I let myself get sloppy, and then I burned in the reps. So now I was being sloppy live fire. And then I had to go and fix everything.
Right.
5 minutes, nice and intense. Okay, good to go. Done.
Yeah.
Easy way to do it. Easy way to do it. Better way to do it.
Yeah. I agree.
You got a safe place to do dry fire in your house?
Okay. I got my place.
Okay.
I got my own man cave.
I was about to say, if you got a concrete wall, good to go. Now, obviously, I want you to unload that gun, get all the ammo away.
I want another
But the good news is we are literally sitting in a freaking concrete bathtub right here, right? So, like, if I shot around right there, boom, right through that wall, well, it's going that far, right? If you live in an apartment or something, there's other shit to do. But since you got a basement too, we won't even worry about that.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, the best thing is just not to make any loud noises inside your house. You didn't mean to. But the second best thing is the bullet don't go nowhere. So yeah, don't use your big screen TV as a fire backstop.
No.
I know a Secret Service guy who did that. Shot the shit out of his TV. I started calling him Elvis. So you'll notice that there was no live fire in that lesson. I offered to my friend, hey, do you want to go to the range now? And he declined. He felt that where he was at was good and he wanted to practice and really seal those concepts in. And since it was his lesson, not my lesson, then that's where we ended it. When you take a private lesson from me, I give you what you want. I don't twist your arm. I don't make you do anything that you're not comfortable with. And that was what I did for my friend. Nonetheless, I feel like he got a lot from it. Hopefully I'm going to see him again in a week or two and we will continue from there. I did give him a little bit of homework when it came to dry fire, which can be critical in really sealing in concepts that you learn in a class. Anyway, guys, I won't make this video any longer. Appreciate you guys watching. I hope this was informative and helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Get 'em, Jay.